What's going on, everybody? Kalipis Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, we're going to be doing a quick comparison between the Nokia G400 5G and the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2022. Now before we go any further, as always, I do want to remind you to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to learn more about either phone individually, I will be linking to several other videos about each of them in the description, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But with that being said, let's get into it. So with the Nokia G400 5G, we're getting a 6.58-inch 120Hz IPS LCD display with a resolution of 1080p, a PPI of 401, and an aspect ratio of 20:9. With the Moto G Stylus 5G, we're getting a 6.8-inch 120Hz IPS LCD display with a resolution of 1080p, a PPI of 395, and an aspect ratio of 20.5:9. So in general, these displays are actually almost the same display technology. Both of them have nice sharp 1080p images, and with 120Hz refresh rates, the movement on the screen is going to be nice and smooth. That being said though, the Moto G Stylus 5G does have two different advantages. First of all, at 6.8 inches versus 6.58, while I would definitely not call the Nokia G400 5G small, the Moto G Stylus 5G is still significantly larger, so if you're going to be on your phone a lot consuming a lot of content, this is definitely worth considering. In addition to this, with a 20.5:9 aspect ratio versus 20:9, the Moto G Stylus 5G has a slightly taller and more narrow form factor, and this is going to give you a more immersive experience in landscape mode. And if you're doing something like browsing social media, for example, you'll be able to fit more content on the screen without having to scroll as much. So in general, while again, both phones do have great displays, and they are actually really almost the same, if you want the best one between the two, the Moto G Stylus 5G will have a bit of an advantage. Now for storage, the Nokia G400 5G is getting 64GB of internal storage with microSD card expansion, and the Moto G Stylus 5G is getting 256GB with microSD card expansion as well. That being said though, keep in mind, I did get this phone factory unlocked from Motorola, whereas if you get this phone through a carrier, you're probably only going to have 128GB. But either way, the Moto G Stylus 5G will have significantly more storage than the Nokia G400 5G, so if you're more of a power user, if you're constantly downloading apps and stuff like that, then I would definitely say the Moto G Stylus 5G will be a better choice. That being said though, the Nokia G400 5G with 64GB really isn't terrible, and for the average user, as long as you're mindful of what you're putting on your phone and you use a microSD card whenever you can, you will at least get by with this phone. Now for security features, both phones do have face unlock, and they both have fingerprint scanners right here on the power keys. But starting with the Nokia G400 5G, let's give them a try. There we go, one more time. And there we go. And now for the Moto G Stylus 5G. There we go, one more time. And there we go. So as you can see there, both fingerprint scanners were real fast and responsive. And again, remember, both phones have face unlock too, so if you want to use that instead, you always can. Now taking a look at the camera setups here, with the Nokia G400 5G, we got a water drop notch for the front facing camera. This camera is 16 megapixels. Then on the back, we got a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera. And with the Moto G Stylus 5G, we got a nice looking hole punch design for the front facing camera. This camera is 16 megapixels as well. Then on the back, we got a triple camera setup with a 50 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera that also doubles as a macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera. So in general, as far as features go, both phones do have pretty good camera setups, but overall, the Moto G Stylus 5G is a little bit better. First of all, this phone does have an ultra wide camera, whereas with the Nokia G400 5G, again, this phone does have an ultra wide camera, but no macro camera. So if you want a wider variety of features, the Moto G Stylus 5G will have an advantage there. In addition to this, when it comes to quality, both phones do take pretty good photos, but in general, I would say the photo quality with the Moto G Stylus 5G is a little bit better. So if you want the best camera between the two, I would definitely go with the Moto G Stylus 5G. That being said though, if you do end up with the Nokia G400 5G, keep in mind this camera is not bad either. And if you don't mind slightly lower photo quality and not having a macro camera, this phone is still going to be perfectly fine for you. Now as far as RAM and processor go, with the Nokia G400 5G, we're getting 4GB of RAM with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 480 5G processor. With the Moto G Stylus 5G, we're getting 8GB of RAM with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 5G processor. That being said though, keep in mind again, this phone is factory unlocked, and if you get it through a carrier, I think it's only going to have 6GB of RAM. It's probably not going to make a huge difference in performance, but I did still want to clarify it all the same. Now when it comes to actual performance, with the Nokia G400 5G, on one hand, this is definitely not a slow phone, and if you're doing more basic activities like web browsing, social media, stuff like that, it will absolutely get the job done, and you're probably going to have a pretty decent experience here. But that being said, the Moto G Stylus 5G is quite a bit faster, and if you're going to be on your phone a little bit more, and maybe you're doing stuff like mobile gaming, for example, that takes up a little bit more power in general, you will get a better experience with the Moto G Stylus 5G. That being said, I did run Geekbench 5 benchmark tests on both phones, and here are the scores I got. So again, as you can see here, while still definitely not being the fastest phone in the world, the Moto G Stylus 5G does have a significant advantage over the Nokia G400 5G, so if you want the faster phone between the two, then definitely keep this in mind. But again, for more basic daily activities, if you're not too concerned about performance, but you want something that's at least going to be decent, just just know the Nokia G400 5G really isn't bad either, but what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and comparing your results to these, and that's going to give you a better idea of whether or not either of these phones will be an upgrade for you. You might find that while the Moto G Stylus 5G is the faster phone between the two, the Nokia G400 5G might be a good enough upgrade already. Now for the batteries, both phones do have 5000 mAh batteries, with the Nokia G400 5G supporting 20 watt fast charging and the Moto G Stylus 5G supporting 15. So in general, the batteries are pretty much the same. Yeah, technically the Nokia G400 5G does have slightly better fast charging, but in practice, you're probably not going to notice the difference too much. So if you're looking for a phone that has great battery life and really good charging speeds, either phone will be a great choice. In addition to this, both phones do have NFC, so if you like to make contactless mobile payments using tap and pay, you'll be happy to know you can do that with either phone perfectly fine. In addition to this kind of goes without saying, but as the name suggests, the Moto G Stylus 5G obviously does have a stylus, whereas the Nokia G400 5G doesn't, so if you do want this feature, you will want to go with the Moto G Stylus 5G. But in conclusion, which of these phones is better? In general, despite it actually being pretty close, in every way where there's actually a difference, the Moto G Stylus 5G is the better device here. While the displays, again, are really close, the Stylus 5G is a little bit larger and it has better dimensions, so if you're consuming a lot of content and you're really going to be on your phone a lot, this is going to make a bit of a difference. The Moto G Stylus 5G also has a lot more storage, a better camera overall, significantly better performance, and of course it does have a stylus. That being said though, despite carriers actually having pretty good deals on these phones, the Nokia G400 5G is typically quite a bit more affordable, so if you can get this phone for significantly less than the Moto G Stylus 5G, and you're not too concerned about the performance or having a stylus, honestly in that case, the Nokia G400 5G is probably going to be a better deal. But if you can find these phones for around the same price, then yeah, in that case I would definitely go with the Moto G Stylus 5G, because while again both phones are great for what they are, the Moto G Stylus 5G is still a better device. But this concludes my comparison between the Nokia G400 5G and the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2022. Again, if you want to learn more about either phone individually, I will be linking to several other videos about them in the description, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow Kalipis Tech on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, I will see you in the next video.